Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture. Today we're going over the debut album by New York-based singer Amber Mark and her album called Three Dimensions Deep. So I thought this was the second album, but technically it's the debut album because the first album that she released was technically a mini album that came back. It was 3:33 a.m. Or 3:33 a.m. It came out in 2017, and that actually was a space where I really got into her. One of the songs called "Lose My Cool," I really loved it. I love the harmonies. I love the production. I love the whole album has great production too, and the whole album is pretty much her grieving over the loss of her mother, and it is a really beautiful album. And also she has her sister in it too. So but Lose My Cool was the first thing that I got into, and I listened to the album, and it was a very short album, like 7 tracks, and then I kind of just left it. I removed myself from it, and I was like, okay, cool. Then 2021 came through, and she released the get one more light. There it goes. Released the song Competition, and immediately her singing was great, and then the beat came in and just took me completely over. So I love that song. I love that song so much. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep track, and I did. And finally, this album came out. It wasn't gonna come out that year. It was gonna come out the next year. And so it was one of those most anticipated album for me. So I was like, I'm so waiting for this album because it's gonna be so great. Its singles are killing it. It's everything. And like I hoped, it is everything. This album is so nice. It's so nicely organized. It speaks to volumes on a lot of topics. It touches on things that there's some sass into it. There's complete a very self it's a lot of introspective thoughts about herself, whether she's going to make it in this career, whether she's going to find love again, whether she has where it's about her kind of getting herself out of her own way when it comes to being stuck inside and thinking about all your problems, and then everybody else is having a great time, and so she's involving herself. There's a full song about that, but that's just an example. But yeah, and it goes in order from it's the whole time is talking about two topics about love, losing a love that she's kind of reeling about, and then then it's a process of getting over that, and it's a process of getting over to a space where she finds new love, and then the process of loving that love and getting to that space where she likes it, and finding that new love is the end of the album, as well as finding the confidence about herself and her worth near the end of the album. But you go through the whole rocky waves of how she's feeling about it. So I'm gonna go through pretty much all these songs because I liked pretty much all the songs. Might be a long album, might be a long video, so bear with me. But the first song starts off is called One. This one talks about her just trying to achieve her dreams, just want to get there, and not sure how she feels about it, and she's very scared but she's nervous about what it's gonna mean or how she's gonna get there. Is she ever gonna get there, kind of thing. She says, and this has a sample by Bob Blue Bland called Dear Bobby, the Note. I haven't really heard this song before, but I love the sample that goes into the chorus, which is, what you seek, you will find when you look inside. All these things on your mind, just a waste of time. I love that. It's pretty much telling her, which actually goes into more of the story of as she goes on, talking about the idea of you're in your mind so often, it's a complete waste of time. You can just go, and all the things you're looking for is inside you, not out in all these other places inside somebody else, some materialistic thing. It's not about that. It's all about having it and finding it inside yourself, and that's where you build that confidence and all those kind of things. I love that. I think that song pretty much just really goes for it, and it's a great song to kick off this album. Going into the next one, What It Is, I didn't really start it, but I felt like this song kind of kicks off the love relationship that she's in, or that she was in. So this one talks about the idea. She's like, she doesn't really know where we stand. She's like, is it love that that proves into our faith, or how we move spiraling? Are we doing good, or are we just completely just in our way the whole time and just repeating movements and everything, just spiraling out of control? Or it's just a test to us that we're going to make it at the other side. I really like that. I like that thought, but there's more to it, which is it seems like it came to the other side. Like it came to the space where they actually were spiraling. So it goes into Most Men, which is another song I really like. I love the production. It's so great. Most Men, this one talks about pretty much just the idea of women kind of giving, she's talking to a person, and also talking to women in general as well, but talking the idea just like, she talks about like how you give him your all just for him to notice you, just for him to treat you right, and in the end of it, it's not really worth it, because she says, you give him your all because when he looks at you with lust, the way he's looking, it is enough. But she says to her afterwards, is love being very rare, but it exists, and when you find it, you'll realize that it comes from within, and that's what gives a bitch that love that she deserves. Once again, promoting self-love. Find it in you first before you find it in somebody else. And then it goes, then it tells you just cut, then she goes into just like, with that said, you should cut this guy out of your fucking life. And she says, cut that player out of your life. Most men are garbage, don't understand what love is. Most men don't understand what it takes to be in love, to be in a relationship, to be loyal and all these things. Most men don't know that. So she's saying just like, cut it. There's so many other men that you can try that out with again, and you don't have to stick with this guy that's treating you wrong. Going into healing hurts. Now we're done with the man. So now we're healing from it. And so this one actually, I love the idea of how this talks about healing after a breakup. She starts kind of reeling about it. She's like, healing hurts. I know this process is what it is, but it hurts. So she says, I need somebody here to tell me how I should deal with leaving you behind. And then it goes into, I gotta trust the process. I gotta let the hours go by. Every simple minute kills me. I know I'm healing, but healing hurts right now. I like that. It's a great acknowledgement that like she's still healing, and she understands that this is the downside of the healing part, but the process is still working. Then goes into the next one of practicing more healing, which is Bubbles, which is the next song. And that one talks about pretty much going out to get over the breakup. So it's like she's trying to do more things to keep herself busy and keep herself active. And I feel like this is a direction where she's like, I want to go out with my friends. I want to go out and have a good time, no stress. And it's actually working. It seems like it's working. Her just dancing and having a good time and mingling herself around her friends. It seems like to be a thing. And then she also points out, she's like, no stress, no pain, no stress. Not you in my head. Someone's gonna pull me closer. It's the thought that carries on to the next one, just softly. And this one, which is, I'm so glad. That's so crazy to have a Craig David sample. I love that song, Rendezvous. I actually reviewed that album, so if you want to check that out, it's somewhere in my library. So this one talks about now that person has held her closer, so she's going to take her. She's not taking him home yet, but she's telling him, you gotta treat me softly. You gotta please me a little more before I can give it back to you, kind of thing. And if you do, then you can come over, you can stay the night, all these things could happen. But it seems like it's like kind of one night stand, and she keeps it that way because you think, okay, so she found a new love. But then she goes back to FOMO, where she's back at home and she's reeling about all of the problems that she's going through and all the things that are happening in her life. They're not positive. But she also is online looking at people, probably Instagram, and just watching her friends just going out, and then seeing them texting her is just like, come on, just have a good time, come out with us. And so she's rejected multiple times of going out with them, and now she got to a point where she's like, okay, sitting here and just thinking about my problems is doing nothing. As she says, cooped up in my room thinking about problems, getting nowhere. So she goes and she says, fill up my cup, made my mind up, won't miss out on living happily. It's about time I'm gonna live. I'm losing control. No time for FOMO, no more FOMO. Pretty much, she was upset that everybody's going out and she's not living that, but she also is stuck in her house thinking about her problems, but now she's doing it. While she's out, she starts having guys hit on her, and also guys that try to kind of pretty much cuff her, because it's cuffing season kind of direction, from Turning Pages, and that one is her reminding herself that she doesn't need these guys. She's not looking for these guys. She is cool with doing the softly direction where it's like, take you home, blah, 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 but that does not mean that they're going to start being a thing. She's not looking for that in this moment. Going into the next one, Foreign Things. So now we're catching up on her career's direction. And so this one talks about the idea of her knowing she's loving her career, and she also knows that she deserves this success. And these good things are coming to her. These foreign things are coming to her that she doesn't really understand, that she never experienced before, but now they're coming. So of course you think in your head, does this mean that I deserve this? Like, this is all new to me. Do I even deserve to have this? And so in this song, she immediately doesn't even ask that. She knows that that's what she deserves. Going to On and On, this one talks about pretty much not being, struggling with not giving up on her dreams. So of course, which I love about this album, there's a lot of ups and downs, and it's a natural up and down. It's like, of course, I one day feel like I deserve it, other days I don't really feel like that. And I feel like this is one of those off days where she's like, I'm trying my best to like do this, but it just feels like I'm just not really hitting, like I'm winning, but I'm not winning hard enough or to the satisfactory that I want to be. So she says, that's it. How fucked up it is. Looking to, oh wow, I wrote so sloppy. Looking to a pool of giving up, feel like jumping in. And then she says, it's like I'm winning each and every day, but is it winning if it's always third place? So she just feels like it's not getting to the space where she wants it to be. And people are telling her how amazing her music is and everything is great. This is my thought. But there's just this piece that she's not achieving to herself that she wants to achieve, that she's not, you know? But I really like that vulnerability. Out of This World is when this guy is starting to tug on her heartstrings now, and she's kind of liking this guy. She's like, pull my heartstrings in such a different light with just your eyes, and I take flight. You're more than life. And so in this idea, she acknowledges, she's like, a new mind and state. I leaped into detachment, pulling off this weight kept me out of sight. I closed my eyes, and with surprise I saw the light. So pretty much she has lived this space of just like isolating herself and not really falling in love and not being vulnerable in any way in that space. But this guy is kind of slowly pulling her out of her shell. Going into Cosmic, now we're completely falling for him. And this one just talks about in that space, and it's just a really beautiful song. The production's really nice. Actually, all the productions on his album is really nice. And then we go into Dark Side, where it talks about how this partner helps her see life in a brighter way. And there's a lot of cosmic kind of, we have like three songs that kind of stay in that cosmic theme and metaphors, which is kind of fun. And then finally going to Worth It, which is bringing you back into her career space, where now she's talking about, now she's talking about how she knows she's worth it from the foreign things and on, but we are talking to you now. She's talking to the person that is listening to this. So she's saying now, I found my worth, and I know that I have my worth, and though I'm still working on it, I know I have my worth, and so can you, kind of thing. And she says it's pretty plain and simple. You think that you don't deserve it, but you are so damn worth it. And then it goes into my favorite song, which is Competition, the first song, second single to this album. Worth It was the first one. This song is so good. I love the production. I love the idea of her continuing this space where she says she doesn't want to compete with anybody. She's not doing this career to compete with people and to show how better she is with other people. She doesn't want to do that. She'd rather lift people up. She'd rather lift her friends, her family, all these people. Even so, in the beginning, she gave one of her friends money, and she's like, just take it. Do what you need to do. Just don't lose your soul when you do this. And I feel like that's talking about somebody that's also looking to get in the singing career and being in that industry. And she's like, just don't lose your soul. I gave this person money and never really asked for it back. I don't want it back. I want them to shine. I want them to do whatever it takes, whatever I can do to make them get to that next level. That's what I'm going to do. And it's kind of that giving without like giving without expectation of getting something back kind of thing. And then it goes into Bliss, which I thought was okay. This one talks about pretty much just having that love. We're back to the love direction, and we found love, and we're having a good time, and everything's great. And she's like, I didn't know what love is until I found my bliss. Came out of the blue, like shit that hits. Then, in this song, she also does her first falsetto in the chorus, and it sounds so good. And finally, the last song, which is Event Horizon, which I didn't really understand. I don't think I should have took a minute and look up what Event Horizon means entirely, because I really don't. I don't think I really hear that word in normal sentences a lot. But anyway, this song, I feel like it's about her mom, because she says, are you still flying? Are you still guiding me home? Will you be shining at the event horizon? Don't know what that means entirely, but I feel like it might mean, maybe it's a Christian thing. Maybe it's like kind of like, will I see you? I don't really know. Like the wild thought, I think, is like, will I see you when Jesus comes down and it's Judgment Day kind of space? Like, that's my guess. But aside from that, you can tell it's about her mom, and I really, really like that. I think it's very pretty. I give this album a 10 out of 10 because it's so organized, it's so great. The emotions are all there. And sure, there's like 2 songs I didn't really star, but I still knew the meaning of the songs. Oh, yeah, 2 songs. Leave a comment below. Tell me what your favorite song was from her. Do you have history with her? What was your history with her? And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell too, so you get more of my videos as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next video.